5, 4, 3, 2, 1 love, you too. What up, though? Shout out to the bro. Sure already know what it is. It's goody. It's boy back at it again with another one. Boy, man, you got your host up, Jay. Alright, I'm gonna get on here and talk about my first deal. My first deal wholesaling real estate. Man, this was back in 2016. What a time. So it was interesting, man. Y'all will laugh at me for this story, but I'm grateful for it to this day. I ain't gonna lie. Alright, so I first got introduced to it like back in 2015, September of 2015. I came across a Facebook ad, and it was for, what's the name of it? Fortune Builders. I don't know if you guys heard of that company. It's called Fortune Builders. They was doing some seminar here in Austin, a 3-day weekend event. I want to say it was free, or I paid like maybe $97. It was one of mine. I can't remember, but I was just like, you know, they were talking about fixing and flipping. They were talking about wholesaling real estate, assignment of contract. They wasn't really talking about it that hard, but they were like geared towards more so like fixing and flipping. And then, you know, but I just heard a little bit about wholesaling. I was like, I think I can do that. I like that. I never heard of that. I thought you had to have a license. You know, I was so ignorant. A lot of us really, you know, we don't know what we don't know. So I just knew you had to get a license to do any of this stuff. So anyway, long story short, I went to the seminar and I had these binders. It was like 3 binders, heavy binders of information. One was to fix and flip. I think one was to buy and hold. And then, yeah, I think the other one was wholesaling, but it was a small binder. It was the smallest one. They didn't really shine light on that one for some reason. And I checked it out. I was like, okay, let me go ahead and see what's up on this. You know, they was talking about all the different ways to market. You can send out postcards to people. You can knock on doors. You can do what they call driving for dollars. And when you're driving for dollars, you're driving around the neighborhoods and you're looking for houses that are beat up, dilapidated, ran down, almost condemned, whatever, right? But the rest of the houses around them are in good condition, in good shape, right? So B or A class neighborhoods and pick the worst one on the block, right? And then you try to send them a letter. At the time, you couldn't skip trace them like that. You had to like, oh my God, you had to have a hookup from somebody that can use, TRO, I think is what it was called back in the day. And in order to have TRO, which was what the creditors used to use to pull all your information and find and be able to use it. The only way you was able to use it if you had an office with a filing cabinet or something crazy. Or again, if you knew one of the investors that was like old school and they knew the tricks and trades, right? So I would try to lean on some of those type of guys. And I was just like, just flying off just the seat of my pants trying to get a deal done. And I was just like so impatient and just thinking this thing could be done like that. I'm thinking like one phone call is supposed to equal a deal. It was terrible. So from late fall of 15 going into the top of the year of 16, guys, I will literally, oh my goodness, this is embarrassing to say. Okay, I literally would take a deal, right, off the MLS, okay? Meaning it was listed for a certain price. Like it was a property that was listed for $249 in East Austin. That same property probably worth a good $375 today, $450 today, somewhere in between there. It was on a big lot, and this is back when it wasn't even like, Austin wasn't even gentrified like that yet, and it was sitting on the market for $249. So I was like, bet, I think I could take this and put this under contract. So I ended up going through a realtor to talk to them and see if I can get it under contract and try to see what I needed to do. So I got it under contract. I put my first and last name, would recommend that. Get an LLC. But I mean, if you're starting out, go ahead, 1 or 2 deals, sure. But you know, get your LLC game up after that. But anyway, put my name in the contract. I had her do all the paperwork for me because it's like 10, 11 pages of a real estate contract here in Texas. The TREC, T-R-E-C, Texas Real Estate Commission. They do all of the contracts and stuff a certain way. So I'm like, I don't know none of this shit. So I'm like, can you hook me up for me? Can you hook it up for me? Cause I had my cousin-in-law, now my cousin-in-law, but at the time it was you know, my baby girl, her cousin, hook it up for me. And you know, she didn't know much of what I was really doing. Like, she thought that I could assign it to somebody, you know what I'm saying? And that's what I was like, yeah, I want to assign this deal. I might have some buyers that might want to, I'm gonna take this deal and I'm gonna post it on Craigslist. And, you know, I'm gonna create an ad out of it. I'm not gonna put the address out there, but I'm gonna put it out there, right? I'm gonna throw some spaghetti on the wall and see what stick. Y'all, listen. I had this property under contract at full listing price of $249 and advertised it for $265. And I'm talking about, this is a property that was on the market. It was probably on the market for some 2 or 3 months. I don't know. It felt like it was on the market for a minute. And I got out of the contract for full price, did zero negotiations. Zero negotiating. Like, I didn't even, oh my God, it was horrible. And, you know, I put down, damn, I think I put like $500 down for earnest money because I heard you can get it back. So I was like, yeah, I can put that up. And then I put down like $100 for option. I had like 7 days for an option period. I'm like, yeah, man, I'm gonna try to put this on Craigslist. I'm gonna call these We Buy Houses signs, you know, all of these bandit signs I see in the neighborhood. Man, we gonna do the damn thing, boy. We about to get this. Yeah. Then I created an ad out of a Word doc. I put the picture, like some pictures of, well, the front of the house, no address. I was like talking about this was like, because I thought the value of it was worth way more, and I was like, this is worth 60% off. I was like hyping it up, and guess what though? I was getting calls. I was getting blew up. People was hitting me up. I was you know, and I was like, oh, what do I do? Like, I'm getting all this traction. What do I do? What do I do? And you know, I was kind of like too scared to send them the address for some reason. I never really did. Actually, no, I sent it to a few people, and then I sent it to this one bandit sign. I will never forget my guy, man. I will never forget my guy, B. Russell, man. If you're watching this, bro. Oh my goodness, man. My bad. Why did I call you B. Russell? Russell Spillers is his name. Russell Spills, man. That's my guy, dog. So, man, he saw my deal. I gave him the address. He looked it up, saw that it was listed for $249, and yo, he replied via email and ripped me a new one, bro. Ever so professionally, too. I want to pull that email up. I wonder if I got it, man. Dang, I should have like pulled it up before I started hitting record on this. But bruh, dog, he basically was like, I don't know how long you've been doing this, but this isn't right, man. You can't take a listing off of the MLS, mark it up, and expect for someone to really like buy this, man. So here's what I suggest. And that's right there when he said, here's what I suggest. Man, changed my life. Changed my life. Because he took the time to actually educate me. He could have just been rude as hell. He could have just wrote me off and then reported my ass or whatever. He could have just he could have just threw my ass under the bus and threw away the key. But instead, my man took the time to educate me and tell me how to really do the damn thing. So he was like, yo, this is what I'm looking for. This is what you're supposed to do. You go out there and he was telling me to do the driving for dollars thing, or go to a RIA meetup, see if there's other deals out there that people might have that you can collabo with, JV with, or we wasn't texting at the time. It was hard to skip trace people, so you had to kind of like door knock or just like word of mouth. We wasn't pulling lists like that. I mean, you can get lists from like foreclosures and stuff like that. So I think he was telling me about the foreclosure lists and stuff, but it was just like, I don't know, it's kind of like the Wild Wild West, man. It wasn't like how it is today, man. It wasn't like so ever freely today. But anyway, long story short, so he told me he looking for, he told me the specs of a house. I'm looking for a single family. It needs to have at least 3 bedrooms. And like he was thorough. Like, you don't get that. Like, it ain't buyers telling me. Buyers don't be this thorough today. Like, he was thorough, and this was like almost 10 years ago, and I appreciated the hell out of this, man. And I replied to him. I was like, yo, like, he thought that he was I was offended. I'm like, yo, no, thank you. Like, thank you, bruh. Thank you for tearing me a new one. Pause, no diddy, but thank you, bruh. Like, I appreciate that, because I don't know what the hell I'm doing. And I gotta go back and tell this guy, man, I can't buy this damn house from you. And I had to renegotiate it to try to get it down way low. I needed that thing at like I probably needed it at like, I think like 170 at the time. Something super low that just wasn't happening. So anyway, long story short, man, I ended up coming up on this deal that, again, my cousin-in-law, shout out to you, Tam, I appreciate you. She overheard in her office about a deal that was being discussed from a guy that, was dealing with a probate situation, who had a realtor too. So it was 2 realtors on this deal, including my cuz, and then another realtor, basically the seller or listing agent. But this shit was off market. And it was I'm sorry, I'm trying to think. It was in Round Rock, Texas. The property didn't have no utilities. This guy was living in there, and he inherited the property, and it had just got through probate. I think he was already listed as the executor, or maybe not. I don't think it was like done yet. But, I was like, oh, this is off market, perfect. So I ain't gotta worry about like everybody knowing about it. And then it was like, okay, the guy wanted like 80, he wanted like 70, damn, I think he wanted 80K for it. But I needed it for like, no, he wanted like 90K for it, I think. But I needed this for like 85K for my end buyer. So I was just like, yo, man, I ended up negotiating them down to like 60 somehow. Like, and guys, I would bring this dude cigarettes. Sorry, don't judge me. Beer. I was bringing him food. Like, I wasn't even driving my own car at the time, bruh. I was driving my wifey car, bruh. I just thought about that. I was in her Honda Accord, the '08 boy, riding back and forth, driving to get this man some stuff and just really like see how I can help him. He was down bad, and it was just like, it was terrible. He couldn't like fully, I don't even know how to describe this shit. But anyway, excuse my language. But long story short, I got him under contract for 60 and ended up bringing it to my guy for 85. He was like, man, where'd you find this? He was happy. He was like, that's how you do it. That's how you drive. He basically Mike Lowry on me. That's how you drive. And I'm like, yeah, I'm like pumped up. And then the deal just kind of like froze. It was like the title wasn't clear. It's like all this bullshit had to go through or go down. At the title company, it was like, well, we got to get such and such a sign up. Looks like this is, it was just like, they got Schedule A, B, C, and D. Now the Schedule C is what determines what needs to be done in order for the deal to close. Man, that title was hairy, is what they call it. It was a hairy title. A lot of stuff needed to be done, including getting his long lost found stepbrother in Germany to sign a piece of paper and sign over his rights, his heirship to the seller. Like, it was a mess. And guess what? He wouldn't sign. Nope, sure didn't. This was about February of 2016. This took all the way to about April until he was like, look, I wrote an email to him. It was so heartfelt. I'm like, look, guy, like, it ain't about us. It ain't about you. It's about your brother, man. He really needs the money. It's really bad right now, what he's going through. He doesn't have any lights on at the crib, bro. Like, come on, man. Have some compassion. Are you able to help him out on your own? You know, like, I was just, like, really trying to dig in there, man. And then, like, a week and a half later, he finally replied. I was like, all right, I'll sign it. Here's the address. I was like, ooh, let's go. We FedEx the docs to him. Next day, or, 2-day air, whatever it was, FedEx the docs. He signed it. It came back. I was like, let's go. It's getting closer. It's getting closer. And I still had, in the middle of all this, I'm still bringing him stuff. I only bought him beer and cigarettes, I think 2 trips, okay? But outside of that, like, I'm bringing him stuff. And then right before we were about to close, this hurt. What's 60 minus 85? 25, right? I was looking at a 25K deal on my first deal, bro. But no, that did not happen. My man saw the HUD and was like, wait a minute. You about to make $25,000 off of me? No, sir, Bob. No, sir. I'm not signing. The seller like, nope, I'm not signing. I'm not doing this. I want more money. I was like, damn. I was like home, y'all. I was on my knuckles. Trying to get this deal done, y'all. Like, it took everything out of me, man. I damn near cried a few times. Like, what does it take? What do I have to do to get this deal done and get it closed? And, I kept trying to reason with him. He dodged me. He wouldn't answer the door. He went missing for another month. Like, we at the closing table. About to collect a 25K check. Most amount of money I ever had at the time of my life. Like, I'm thinking I'm about to be like, what? Let's go. Let's get this. And he didn't sign. So a month passed. We finally catch up with him. And he settled for a higher amount. We basically had to amend the contract. I took a big haircut. I think I took what was it? I took basically a 17K haircut, 16, something like that. We settled at a price, and I had walked away with $8,500, and finally got the deal closed, man. And there it was, my first deal. It was for I think $8,490, something like that. I just rounded up like $8,500, man. And it was such a beautiful feeling. It was such a relief. I mean, it took me all those months to do it. So technically, it took me 5 months in 2016, and then it was 4 months. It took me 9 months to do my first deal. From the time that I discovered wholesaling to close, it took me about 9 months in 2016, bro. It was the most rewarding, but the most daunting and grueling and teeth pulling and sacrificing 9 months, bro. But I learned a lot, man. I learned a ton. So it was like that was like tuition. You feel me? Like, you just got to pay the cost sometime, man. So, and then I bought a car and got a job. And that just threw everything else off, man. Then I tried to get another deal, and it was slow boogie. It was my marketing shut off. I wasn't marketing no more. Then I was just ugh. But that, anyway, man, fast forward to today, man. I've learned a whole lot. I've done quite a few deals, man, since then. I haven't done over 100 deals yet, though. But, I'm going to get there. I'm gonna get there. You know what I'm saying? And I know well enough to teach a course if I wanted to, or put out an ebook if I wanted to, but I'm not even gonna do that right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm focused on trying to really, I'm still building me up. I'm still creating the business, and I'm still looking to acquire. Like, you already know how I do, man. Become an asset, create an asset, acquire an asset. But anyway, I appreciate y'all tapping in, man. I'm gonna go in and get this food. I had to just report to y'all. You already know what it is. It's your boy, Dub J, signing out. Y'all be blessed. By the best. Proceed with the proceedings of the procedures. I love y'all. Peace.